I made a production request for evidence from the Isabella County prosecutors, and what they sent me was basically what I already had, consisting of the police report and basically the police report. Supposedly there was a 5-member team consisting of primarily State Patrol, I believe, from Bayonet, who were asked or tasked with surveillance on the morning of September 17th, 2015. And in there, 2 guys basically swore out this affidavit or complaint or information, whatever it's called. It's not titled, it's not signed. But basically, these 2 guys who were allegedly on the stationary team at my house witnessed me operating a motor vehicle out of my driveway and then all the way to Maxfield's restaurant. Well, the stationary team wouldn't make that observation all by themselves, and no other officers have testified. So I'm going to have to call all 5 members as hostile witnesses. The same report claims that I was still in my vehicle when I was arrested at Maxfield's. Well, first off, I wasn't arrested. I was abducted. And secondly, these stationary officers at my house really would have no way of knowing what was going on in Maxfield's restaurant. And it's also important right now to point out that my abductors were all from Isabella County, and we were in Montcalm County, where they have absolutely no jurisdiction or authority. These are huge, and the citation written by Clinton Steinert, who was my abducting officer back in 2010 when the Isabella County Sheriff's Department stole my family's home at 829 East Walton in Mount Pleasant. Steinert perjured himself in the citation that he wrote, claiming that we were in Isabella County, and we were not. We were in Maxfield's parking lot. I was not observed operating a vehicle, and it's not my contention to argue these operating or not operating issues. Steinert and the Isabella County Sheriff's Department cited me for operating a vehicle, but nobody witnessed me operating a vehicle. And this is what I'm getting at. I'm not going to incriminate myself and say that I was driving from my house to Maxfield's. It's the state's position to prove that I was. And you don't do that by perjuring yourself on a citation that says we're in Rollin Township in Isabella County. These are all the issues that need to be brought to the forefront. If they've got proof that I was operating, if they've got proof that operating a motor vehicle without registering it, if they've got proof that operating a motor vehicle without a state issuing you a license to partake in that right, then we've got some grounds for them to do what they're going to do. But if they don't, and if they can't, it's not up to me to prove that I was breaking the law. It's up to them to prove that I was breaking the law or dispose of this case. But Isabella County's in a position right now where it can't just dispose of this case. Why? Well, they took 8 days of my life. How do you compensate somebody for 8 days out of their life, or any time, a single moment in captivity? This whole ordeal has cost me over $5,000. I spent 8 days in captivity at the county jail, being scorned and put on display in their fishbowl up front, and for 2 days, and then getting out of that, costing me $20,000 in cash and collateral to get out. That was put up by friends. The same friends that would help me participate in a defense, perhaps, and $5,000 personally, $2,200 for vehicles being taken to Green's Towing and stored at $180 a day. Where is there any presumption of innocence here? That's my question. Where is it presumed that a defendant in a criminal case should be stripped of everything he owns before, while he's trying to prepare a defense? How could this in any way be considered the presumption of innocence? It's not just the jail time. It's not those 8 days. It's the following 6 or 7 days rifling through dumpsters, trying to salvage what was at my property, recognizing that things were intentionally destroyed. And then after that, after I was done in my dumpsters, I had probably 30 bags of clothes to wash. And the 30 bags equated to about 60 loads of laundry. So, in preparing my defense, I've had to spend all my available cash to get a couple vehicles out. I had to lean on some friends to put up $20,000 worth of collateral so that I could get out. I spent the next 6 or 7 days rifling through dumpsters, just sick to my stomach over the carnage. And after that, another 4 or 5 days doing laundry. And this is all critical time for somebody that's a defendant who's supposed to be, able to defend himself. Well, the thing is here, folks, is that when the county throws you in jail, they expect to, at the end, be able to sentence you, find you guilty of something, even if they reduce the charges or whatever in a plea deal. But they can't give you 8 days of your life back, so they have to find you guilty of something. They have to force a plea down your throat. They have to try and make it so that at the very least they could say, well, you're done, time served. And these are the things that I'm fighting against. These are the things that we cannot allow to go on. If a defendant's guilty, give him every opportunity to defend himself. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we can't force people into a guilty situation just because the state needs that revenue. And this is exactly what's going on. We are all going to be found guilty of something to some degree or another, and this is the way the state is taking away our guns. As a condition of my bond, right now, I cannot possess a firearm. Why? I'm not guilty. This is, when I went to court for Donald Brzezinski Sr.'s alleged criminal charges, three different firearms charges, and just watched as the county scared the crap out of this guy, and rightfully so. I mean, when you own the defense, when you own the public defender, when you own the prosecutor, and when you are the judge, I mean, you can make things go the way you want them to go. And Brzezinski saw that. And instead of facing some serious jail time for bogus charges on a felony perjury information sworn by David Sabuda of Mount Pleasant Police Department, he pled. I mean, when the police are lying about you, when the police are making up this fictitious shit under the potential penalty of 15 years in jail for perjury, how confident are you going into court that you're actually going to be able to accomplish a damn thing? The issue here, people, is the loss of our judiciary. And if I was anti-government, why would I be fighting for the renewal of our judiciary? This anti-government crap is just that. It's just crap. And it needs to stop. And somebody needs to stand for it, and I guess that's me. I didn't want to be here. I didn't ask to be here, but the state's making me be here. So I am actually probably the only public servant in Michigan right now that's serving the people of this state. And I could use your support. If you've been through the system, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm 48 years old, and for the first Well, just since the last 5 years, I was completely, intentionally ignorant of what goes on in our courts. But I got sucked in. And now that I'm in, too bad for them. Because I don't know if it's having been a home builder for the majority of my life, but, you know, I look at things from a foundational perspective. I mean, where do we start? How do we go? What do we do to make things, to get the project done? And the state doesn't like my approach because I am actually crafting what it's going to take to get things fixed. These judges understand, they understand the people, and they also understand that they have no immunity for crime. You're not acting in any judicial capacity when you're willfully committing crimes and depriving the people of their rights. Period. There's no immunity from that, for that. And that's why the resistance against me is so hard. That's why I'm spending time in dumpsters instead of writing legal works. That's why my computers are stolen. That's why over 5.5 years of research into this garbage has just been destroyed by my county. This really ticks me off, folks. And I was once willfully ignorant of what was going on in our courts, and I'm asking you, everybody out there has a family member that's been through the system. How are you treating them? Is it their problem? So-and-so went up for something, and they said they didn't did it, but the courts and the judge and the police all said they did. But that's not worthy of your attention or your investigation. Being willfully ignorant is not going to solve any problems here. And if you don't think this can affect you, think again. Think again, because I never expected to be here. I never expected to have 11 years of personal property stored on my property, collectively gathered, blended, and put into 7 dumpsters. I didn't expect to be charged with crimes and then disallowed to defend myself. Folks, there's serious problems in this country, and if we are going to address any of them, we're going to need to have our county courts. And we need to take them back. They're currently occupied by people that are just trying to make the budget. Government's not going to downsize. They're not going to give up any power. They should be downsizing. We don't even hear them complain anymore about the budget. They just do what they want to do. And they're stealing our children, and they're stealing our homes. If you're a parent in Michigan that's lost your children to Child Protective Services, I will almost guarantee you that it was a kidnapping and that the courts denied you due process due to Michigan Court Rule 3.920H, as in hotel. This court rule allows any county court in Michigan to call you into court and rail you through the system and steal your children. If you live in Michigan and you've lost your home in a foreclosure to a company called MERS, I can assure you that that was done unlawfully. The thing here is, folks, is that the banks aren't stealing our homes, and CPS is not stealing our children. Our county judges are doing that. Our county judges are stealing our homes and our children, and we're doing what? How much more evidence do we need? This makes me so ill. Like I said earlier, I need help in this battle, okay, because it is a battle. Get in touch with me if you want to help. And if you don't want to help personally, you want to donate anonymously, I fully understand. It's really hard being on the front line, being the one with the name and being so exposed. I am so exposed right now. But I understand if you don't want to be on the front line, but at least be on the second line or the third line or the fourth line. If we don't start fixing this, folks, we are going to end up right past socialism into communism. And we don't want that for our children. We don't want that for ourselves. But it's happening, and it's happening right now. We have to address this. We have to hit this head on. Okay? The federal government is actually helping the state of Michigan perform this transformation. FBI Tony Crodette, later discovered to be part of the disinformation campaign down at the Bundy Ranch, has supposedly been conducting a criminal investigation into my allegations, and he's now working with the state and the county to posture some bullshit anti-government domestic terrorist crap against me, and it's frustrating. Very frustrating. We need to start going to court. All of our courts, all 83 counties in Michigan, we need to start participating. That's something you can do. You can gather the administrative orders created by your chief judge in your county and see if they're making specific exclusions for the First Amendment in your courts. Courts are private public, folks. You can go to court. You can request a file. You can have copies made, whatever. But what's happening here is our judges, our trial court clerks, our court clerks are privatizing what goes on in court because they don't want us to see what's going on in court. And, that in and of itself speaks volumes for what's going on in courts. Yeah, we get a copy of the transcript. It might be accurate, it might not be. But the thing is, and the reason that we still get transcripts is because nobody reads them. Okay, we want the audio video, or at the very least the audio, so that we can play it, we can reproduce it, we can share it. Because it's a lot easier to sit through and listen to a court hearing with particular emphasis, on certain areas and in certain cases, than it is to sit down and read through a transcript. And the judges know this. The state court administrators know this. The Michigan Supreme Court knows this. So nobody reads transcripts, but everybody will watch a video. Everybody will listen to the audio. And that's why these things are being specifically excluded from our ability by these people committing these terrorist acts. I'm talking about the judges, the court clerks, lawyers that know this is going on and still willfully participate in it. And they don't want their dirty laundry aired on YouTube. Anyways, get involved. Find a case, look at it, okay? I know you have some family that's had some interaction. If you're looking through these court documents, finding their errors, finding their overstep is really simple. They do it all the time. In fact, they don't even care about, doing it anymore. It's just so commonplace. It's like, and these people are being paid by us and claiming to represent the people of the state of Michigan or the people of whatever state. So we're paying them, they're claiming to work for us, and they're doing a really shitty job. In fact, they're committing crimes simply to raise funds for the state. It's got to stop. It's got to stop, people. Anyways, peace, God bless, and I'm not anti-government. I am pro-republic government, and please get involved. Sorry for taking 20 minutes out of your day, but I'm glad you did, and I appreciate it. Please be sure to comment. Thanks. God bless.